drop something.
Morning. Welcome to Wake Up Real Estate Thursday, March 23rd, something like that. Episode 34, if I'm keeping track correctly, if my math is right. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Ernest. Do us a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share, smash the bell. We've gone over 400 subscribers, so thank you. The next goal is 1,000, and we need your help to get to that. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and please share with others in the office, in your brokerage, if you're at a brokerage like EXP or Real or anywhere where you've got multi-states or a large network. Things of that nature. Please share the love. We're trying to give away as much good stuff as we can on these, and we'd appreciate it if you pass along. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, George. It's Tech Tip Thursday, and I have a couple of different things that I was going to dig into, following up on yesterday's session, showing some cool tech tips in RPR. And also, someone brought up Core Present, and then Core Present came up on my EXP huddle.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna use it on the session here today. I'm gonna.
Did you practice?
What's that?
Did you practice? Because I just went in there about 5 minutes ago. I started playing when I was like, I hope Josh.
So I looked at it, and I think I have enough information to be dangerous, and at least illustrate how to use it, and it will allow me to tie in a topic from yesterday, Loom. So I'm going to make a Loom video, which you can put a Loom video right in Core Present. I'm going to make a Loom video and send it out to a prospect, which if you're following along on the show each and every day, if you're not, you should be. Yesterday, I mentioned how I was working on an appointment for an older couple in back of Dover. Back of Dover. And I was playing phone tag with the guy all day. And finally, at the end of the day, he texted me, oh, unbeknownst to me, my wife already connected with a realtor. Well, here's what I know. His wife didn't sign the contract. So I'm going to send them the Core Present. And they'll also get the mail packet that we sent out tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm not out of the woods. I'm not dead yet with this.
Well, he's not out of the woods either because he's back at Dover. But the other thing is, just keep at it because he might list with that other agent if it's like a friend or somebody his wife knows and it doesn't sell, you're next. So
exactly. And I know that they are moving somewhere. And so I'm already planting the seeds on helping with that, or if they need mortgage help as well. So, and I'll even weave that into the Loom that we'll dig into here as well. And maybe Ernest says, love me some Core Present. Maybe we'll have to have Ernest on a bonus session to show us, because I too was playing around with it yesterday, and there's a lot of cool things in there. And I think it can almost be a little overwhelming because there are so many different bells and whistles in there, right? Yeah. Like it would be interesting to see actual case studies like Ernest of how they're using it. I'm going to use it very surface level. In other words, I'm going to use it pretty much out of the box and shoot a quick Loom video to add some personalization.
Yeah, it does buyer presentations too and some other things, but we can get into that. And also, if people really want to see it, we could probably get Karen on here, the person who built it.
That'd be great. Awesome.
All right, you want to do social post real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, hold on. Do we have a question of the day?
Oh, I forgot.
Okay, so here's my question. What is your preferred sort of CMA or home valuation tool? Because we got a comment after the session yesterday, or maybe it was late on the session, someone that loves cloud CMA, right? And there's Core Present, and we're going to dig into RPR. Do you just use your MLS? Do you use something else, right? Like what is that item or what is that tech that you use as your preferred sort of CMA or home valuation tool, right? There are lots of them, and I would love to know what you use. Chris Pataki says RPR. I forget who it was that had kind of given a shout to Cloud CMA. Maybe I'll find that comment here while Ryan's working on the social post of the day. But let us know in the comments, what's your preferred home valuation sort of CMA tool?
Yep.
And
it's in the Facebook group as well, that question, and participation will be rewarded on some level if you want to go into the Facebook group.
There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right, so let's look at my social post here. I totally forgot the question. Glad you picked me up there, Josh.
Yeah, you bet.
So I did I got my favorite eyeball guy there. So I'm going to start doing my posts, occurred to me yesterday on the Forever Florida Real Estate page. I've been doing it on my personal, and then I'll share to my personal. This is property list of the day. Simple technique if you're ever at a loss for something to post. $1 million plus condos in Pinellas County. Click link to see the full list now. And then I did take a few seconds to add a surprised girl and the guy with the big eyes using Screencast-O-Matic.
No Spider-Man? I mean, where's Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's tomorrow. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
And Mr. T's the day after.
Nice. And
I will... Crazy Oleg wants to come out. He'll be out the day after that.
So here, I'll share. I literally was posting this before we got on. Hopefully I can find one. This is a short form video that is, I finally am making good on a promise from, I don't know, a week and a half ago, or maybe it might be 2 weeks ago now. I did, and I've got the content for a second one of these, and I'm intending to make this a quick driving tour. I'm intending to have one of those per week on my socials. So here's what I mean. Let me see if I can watch more reels. Nope. I want to watch mine. Where's mine? There we go. So,
whoa.
Yeah. So
it looks like you're flying.
I know.
It's
okay.
Awesome.
So this is, I'm gonna explain surface level and tease where you could get the deep dive. So
it's making my day right now, Josh. It's so cool. It's so cool.
So here's how I did it. Right. I like to go into story time a little bit. So well, I teased this idea, right? I knew that you could record a driving tour and then have that be your background green screen. You can use static images, or you can have video be your green screen and you as the talking head like that. So I knew you could do that. And I had promised, I've got this little neighborhood that's in between my neighborhood and the neighborhood behind. And I still have to build that one. I have the video tour content. I just have to make the talking head part of it. And I'm going to do that. This was a neighborhood that I took my son to. He had a flag football game on Saturday, and he had to be there early. And I had my daughter with me, and we had like 45 minutes. It was cold and windy. We weren't just going to like hang out there. So I was like, oh, you know what? I know that there's this new home community that's like 5 minutes away. So we go over, we record that video. And then I was like, well, it's got to be 60 seconds or less. And for me to drive this whole thing, like I'm either going to break all kinds of laws to drive fast enough, or I need to figure out how to speed up the video.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you join me for part 2, this coming Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern for part 2 of our short form video mastermind, I will show how to do that in CapCut. You can do it in CapCut. I don't want to get too technical here because I want to get into the RPR and some of the other things. But you can speed up your video in CapCut, which is what I did. I took 2 minutes of video and compressed it into like 50 seconds, which is why it looks like I'm flying, right? But that does a number of things. Number one, like it's going to hold the person's attention for sure, right? Now, it may give some people a headache, but it's a pattern interrupt on some level, Ryan.
Well, I would do property tours that way, but I'm confused a little bit myself. You speed up the original video file in CapCut, and then you record it again in CapCut, your talking head video, and put that on top?
So what you have to do is you have to speed it up and export it.
Okay.
And then you use green screen, where the media you're choosing for your green screen is the sped up tour with your talking head video in the corner.
Josh.
And I know all of this sounds confusing. I promise you, I will show the exact step-by-step, and we're even building out checklists for this. You'll get to see me. I'll actually do one end-to-end live on Monday at 11 for our 11 a.m. Eastern for our Monday marketing mastermind. there are numerous steps, but it's not hard. I promise. And I literally, to do the video tour, I literally held my arm out the window with the phone and just drove around the neighborhood. That's literally all I did.
So your kids, you must do this all the time, because I know what my kids would do.
Oh, they think I'm crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
They think
I didn't know if they were like all about it, and they're like, "This is awesome, Dad," and like they're.
Well, I think they are on some level,
Yeah.
But it's like anything. Kids want to be, they're going to force embarrassment, or the idea that I'm embarrassing them.
Because Dad riding through the neighborhood where their kids live,
and there were people in there. Like they had an open house, there's a model home in there. They had an open house, and I'm driving literally, and it's freezing. Like by the time I'm done with the tour, my hand is blue. And
you don't know what I would pay to have a video of you doing that video.
Yeah, seriously. I should have outtakes or whatever, blooper reel of that. So anyway, I will do that live end to end.
Can you show it again?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
It's just so good.
You know what I'll do is I'll show it on a different platform. So
Josh, I think it would be an unbelievable, probably YouTube, but an unbelievable Facebook ad. I can only imagine if you could spin something fast like that.
Sure.
Even, the way I might use that is like with a fixer-upper niche. If I was doing fixer-uppers, you do the really fast sped up fixer-upper tour. So you speed that up and then you talk head over it, just talking about the fixer. And really the call to action is just get my next video.
Exactly. Now, my call to action in that was specific to that community. But in your case, if it's like, if the show is a fixer-upper every time, or like the content, I mean, make sure make sure you follow me to get my tour of the day. Right. If you'd like to have it right in your inbox, go to 717deals.com. So I'll show it on, I haven't finished. I just ran out of time. So I haven't put it everywhere yet that I normally would put these. But here it is on TikTok.
Here's a quick You're like flying. It's so trippy.
Preserve a new and what's funny is the way you speed up the video, you can actually, it's very easy to like speed up and slow down. In other words, you can have clips where you're going like super fast and then where you slow it down, which is another sort of way of keeping people engaged. And let's face it, when you watch engaging content, it's cutting all the time, whether it's changing the viewpoint or going to B-roll or whatever. And this is kind of like that's a way that you're doing that, but in a live video, where people might still watch it if I just had a picture of the community as the green screen. They might still watch it. My guess is I'm going to get way more views because there's just more happening. And right, wrong, good, bad, like, we just all want to be sort of entertained at, every couple, seconds. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy.
Can you drop that? Can you drop that in the Facebook group, the actual video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep.
Everybody says you need to shoot a video with the Ted Lasso sign. I'm not sure what that is, but it is a poop idea.
You don't know what Ted Lasso sign is?
No, I watched the show. I watched it last night.
Oh, he means the Believe poster.
Oh, that. Yes.
My kiddos got that for me for Christmas.
Now I got it.
Yeah. I haven't started season 3 yet. I know. I think episode 2 of season 3. I gotta get caught up tonight, Thursday night. We don't have much going on, so okay. Let's see. Stuart says, I'd love to know too what I've been doing. Takes too much time using info from RPR, Remind, etc. So we'll kind of dig into that. And George says my home IQ is also good. Yes, my home IQ is really good. And if you want to explore using my home IQ as part of our co-marketing platform, schedule a time to chat with me right there. Josh 15.
Or scan that QR code that says "Don't scam me."
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. What's next?
Let's talk macro a little because it's fun.
And then we're going to get into RPR and core present and even play around with Loom.
Yeah, my EXP puts aren't doing so good this morning, which is a problem, but just trolling a few of you guys. The mortgage rates have been coming down, right? So it looks like they're hovering down in the mid to low 6s. you know, the Federal Reserve's kind of between a rock and a hard place with all this banking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they have to help the banks out. And in order to help the banks out, they kind of have to feed inflation. So it's a catch-22 all around. And I don't know what actionable thing you guys could do with this other than to just be on the lookout. Now, if they have to keep helping the banks, rates will probably come down, but it could mean a little deflation. And I'm going to stop there and ask for feedback. Do you guys want more of this stuff? Should I do a better job of presenting it? Or do you just want to know some YouTube channels where you could go like I go every day to learn more about the overarching macro landscape and how it affects mortgage rates and things like that?
And I'll just share, I was watching a video earlier today or yesterday, like transactions are like, we had an increase in transactions, the last reported, you know, so despite the fact that interest rates are up, despite the fact that inventory is down, good things are happening. And it's just, I think the indicator is there's always a percent of the population that needs somewhere to live, to buy or sell, where it's really like they don't have a choice, whether it's job related or other factors at play. There's always going to be people that need our help. There may be, you know, fluctuations of how many, but always opportunity.
I'm going to take that advice. I mean, I woke up this morning thinking I was take all my money out of Capital One because there's some stuff going on with them, right? But it's like, and you know, oh no, like the world's coming to an end. But you know what? People are still going to need to buy and sell houses.
In that same video that I was watching, they do recommend that you have your money with a local federal local credit union. Yeah. So I don't know, for whatever that's worth.
Josh, I'm wiring the funds a week early for the transaction we're doing because it's spooky.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just pay attention, guys. I feel like if we can help just pay attention. There's crazy stuff happening. All right.
Yeah.
But
all right.
On a better note.
Tech Tip Thursday.
Whee!
I've got a couple of things that I want to make good on promising. So thing number one is RPR. And obviously, like this alone is a tech that, you know, we all, or most of you here, have access to. You're paying for in some form or fashion, so you might as well use it on some level. And the thing that I also mentioned yesterday is the ability for you to put in some marketing materials into the reports that you can auto-populate. And so one of the report styles that we use often is the mini report. So when we have someone that requests a free home valuation, in most cases, we actually create a mini report and send them the report through thanks.io. Now, with this new direct mail double tap campaign that we're running, that is going to be very local, where all of the people responding are going to be within a couple of miles, I'm going to hand deliver those just to see what happens, or you know, what kind of, how that affects the response. But generally speaking, like my area, I'm in a very rural area, and when we run campaigns that aren't able to be targeted like a direct mail campaign where it's just going within a, you know, a small radius, we will mail those mini reports. So I'll pull up a mini report, and I'll be flat honest, I meant to refresh my memory on how I create or how I add in the thing that I wanted to show, but we may just have to roll our way through here figuring out. So I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to create a report. I'm going to click create a report. And the mini report here is the one that we use most often. And quite honestly, it's because it's 12 pages or less. Even when I add in the custom pages here. So I've got 2 custom pages that I add in. And thankfully, RPR is making it very simple on me. You actually just right over here, you manage custom pages.
Oh, cool.
And you can add those in. So both of these pages right here are just 1-page PDFs that I've created in Google Docs. And George had asked for those. We're happy to share those. Mike, if you can grab the Google Doc share links for those, and we'll get them into the swipe or no swiping section of the.
I think he was also asking if you send all the pages with your mailer.
Okay, so I'm gonna run this report, and I'll show you, for whatever reason, and maybe it's just in my area, maybe this isn't universal, I don't know. But when I run this report, it, even with my custom pages, it never comes back with more than 12. And also there are always 2 pages that like have nothing on them but advertisements. So I don't send those. So here's how we do it. We run the report, and then we're going to have to, do some witty banter here because it takes a minute or two for it to actually populate the report. And sometimes, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's bogged down or whatever, sometimes it can take a few minutes. I don't know if it's, if there's a lot of users on there or something else is going on with it. And there you go. You get the doorbell when it's done. So I can download the report. And I've got this 12-page report here, once it loads up for me, where page 2 is one of my custom pages. Okay. And then pages 3 through whatever. Sometimes the reports are shorter. I think depending on, if it's a property where there's less comps or less data on, sometimes like when we download them, they're anywhere from 9 to 12 pages. So sometimes they're shorter for whatever reason that may be. But there are some pages, I think it's 10 and 11. Yeah, like
what's that about?
We don't need to send this. Like I have no idea. And I've tried to remove it, and I haven't found a way to remove it. Now it looks like actually.
But those are geared toward you, not the end recipient of the report.
Sense. Usually there's 2 pages that are nonsensical, but there's only 1 here. So the way my workaround for that, the way we do it is we go print, save. We're choosing destination, save as a PDF. And then I go custom. And in this case, I'm going to print pages 1 through 10 and page 12. And then I'll have an 11-page PDF that I can email them a copy of the PDF. I can mail them through thanks.io with a cover letter like we showed the other day. It might have been yesterday. I don't know.
It was yesterday, yeah.
It was yesterday. So go back to episode 33 if you want to see that. But we're just sending them a windowed letter that has a cover letter and then this attachment. And to mail that through Thanks, it costs like, I don't know, $3, right?
Yeah, that's because of the attached pages. Yeah.
Yeah, less than what it's going to cost to drive it, unless it's super, super local. So I'm curious to know.
You're the only agent that'll ever do it too.
Right. So I'm curious, before we move on to other stuff, we had a number of people say that they use RPR. And, there are lots of other cool things you can do with it. You can create reports for like specific zip codes, specific neighborhoods. You can pull expired listings with RPR. There are lots of cool things that you can do with it. And it's you know what?
Social post
I'm going to do a Monday marketing day with RPR. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm just saying you could use that content for a social post of the day or an email newsletter to a specific neighborhood showing data. Yeah,
totally. George says, do you send all pages? I do. I send it always ends up being somewhere between 9, 10, or 11 pages. And I send all of them.
How often?
You can only send 10 through Thanks, right?
I don't even know. I should. But it might be 10 back in front. But it might be 10 back in front.
Yeah. Right. So I try to keep them short, right? I want it to be good, impactful information. I want it to feel a little lumpy, right? But sending a 50-page thing, like, A, no one's ever going to read that. And B, you're just it's just wasteful. It's just wasteful.
So have you seen those packets at people's houses when you go to lists? I mean,
people reference it. And I'll get people that are like, hey, on that one thing that you sent, what's that option 2? Talk to me about that, right? Or what's your silent market? What's that thing, right? So it's like you're creating a conversation.
Yeah.
You're planting seeds in their head.
This is a workaround. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Ernest's workaround is good. If you don't want to send the whole packet, you could just use this QR scan on the letter, on one-page letter, or the postcard if you want to save a little money. And then you could offer the web-based version, and you can auto trigger doing the direct mail double tap Josh talked about yesterday, you could trigger the follow-up report automatically if they respond. So
yep,
that's an idea.
Someone else asked, how do you decide what homes? So we send those to people that request an updated home valuation, whether they're new leads or because of our weekly email newsletter, they come back and they're requesting an updated home valuation. That's part of our follow-up, because my perspective is I want to have as many people in my database that have received direct mail from me as possible. Like, I don't want to just randomly send out 9,000 pieces of direct mail, but if they're engaging and interacting, I want to get something in their hand that's physical that they may hold on to. And many of them do. Not everybody. I'm sure plenty of them go into the circular filing cabinet, let's say, but many of them hang on to them. And many of them for quite a while. They'll hold on to them for months or years. What info are you sending in your Google Docs?
Sorry, my bad.
How do you add your 2 pages? Okay, George. Again, I had showed that so if you do property search, and Ryan, there were some other good questions that you can probably pull up while I'm doing some of this.
Yeah.
Like Deb asked about the Google pages. So the Google Docs that we're sharing are where you can make a copy of those and create your own PDFs that I'm using for the custom pages. They're
related to your unique selling proposition around listing, basically.
Exactly. Well, one of them is, and then the other one is just I literally just did screen capture screenshots of testimonials from my Google business listing page. I mean, that's it.
You could show them if you want, Josh. They were on yesterday's episode, but
yeah. Well, I'll pull this up here. So so you pull up an address, you go create report, and then if I choose, I'll choose mini report again. And you can see right here, these are my custom pages. But to add the custom pages on the right-hand side here, okay, so scroll down on the right-hand side. It says, it says manage. Oh my goodness. It says manage custom pages. And this is where you can add custom pages and you can sort them. You can order them however you like. You can add more if you want. I think for me, two is good, right? So some unique value propositions, one, and some other people saying nice things about me too. And then here's what that looks like. And this is, we'll give you the Google Doc version of this. Now, number one, you have to be able to make good on these offers. And actually, I need to update this now that I'm thinking about it. You have to be, these have to be offers that you can make good on, number one. And number two, you're going to edit them with your stuff. So on the Google Doc, you're going to make a copy. This one is just reviews, Google reviews. And it's literally just screenshots of the Google reviews that I put, 4 or 5 of them on a page, on a PDF, and just some branding at the bottom. That's it. So it's just that manage custom pages. It's manage custom pages in RPR. David, do you ever use Core Present? I'm going to use it here in a minute. Oh my goodness, we're already at half hour, but I think I can do it pretty quickly. Stuart, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. How do you reconcile the variation of values? I think the easiest way is to stress with your cover letter or somewhere in a report that this is an automated dumb robot
1,000%.
Yeah, and just say you need a real, your call to action is if you want a real human to take a look at this, I'll give you the real number. So
or I'll give you a more accurate number. Yeah.
We don't want them to get accurate, guys.
You use it to your advantage. Do not invest a ton of your time and energy putting together a report for someone that was an address only lead that opted in on your home valuation opt-in page. Don't. You're wasting your time. Don't do it. I mean, when they respond and they're like, I don't think this is accurate, that's opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And proactively address the fact that it's not. It's computer generated. This was put together by a robot. If you want a real human to give you an idea of what it's actually worth, I'd be happy to stop by for a quick tour, no cost or obligation whatsoever. All right. You know what's funny? I too often talk over Ryan. And then when I listen back, because I listen back to the shows because I'm trying to get better, I listen back most mornings. I often hear funny, witty things that Ryan says that I miss because I'm too busy talking. You said something earlier this week. You said something earlier this week that made me, I literally laughed out loud that I didn't hear you say when we were live. So, and Lance says, this is a good point by Lance. RPR gives a range and the range is rarely wrong. I would say the range for sure. And also RPR will give you, it says the RVM. What's the R? They don't call it an AVM. They call it an RVM. But it will also tell you, it'll give you a confidence score of 1 to 5 stars, 1 to 5 stars. And so if it's 5, it's likely pretty accurate. If it's a 1, what we do or at least what I do when it's a 1, I'll go and I'll probably look in Remind, see what First American and Black Knight and Zillow and Redfin have to say. And I'll also, that is a case where I might also customize my message saying, hey, it looks like your property's a little unique. This gives you some idea, but really, I would need more information. We'd have to verify some things. I'm happy to do that for you. No cost or obligation.
It'd be pretty next level if you had another sheet in that report or somewhere you made it page 2. I don't know if you can do this for your custom pages. And you said, what do you think of the value? And you give them 2 codes to scan. If you think it was too high, scan here. If you think it was too low, scan here. You have to take them through a video of yourself, and it would be a little work, but it could be if you can make it more interactive.
Yeah. Honorata, the R in RPR stands for realtor. The R in RVM, I don't think stands for realtor. I think it's something else, but neither here nor there. It's their automated valuation model, and it will give you a confidence score. We're 5 out of 5. We're pretty confident this value is accurate, or 1, or anywhere in between. And you can use that as a sort of, you can use that in your follow-up, let's say, to your advantage to increase conversations. Okay. Several people asked about Core Present. So I want to at least spend a minute on this.
And just while you're loading that up, Core Present, guys, it's available, I believe, to all EXP agents. And I think it's through the broker. If you have a KV Core account, I think your broker has to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Just before everybody asks. So I think it's,
what I wanted to, I did it again. What I wanted to do is, I don't want to spend too much time on it because not everybody listening has it. But for those of you that do have it, and it was something that came up, I wanted to at least very quickly show how this is the fella that I thought I was getting a listing appointment on. I still think I'm going to get it or get an opportunity at some point to help them. And if not, who knows? But I didn't realize that when you have, it's just built right into their dashboard for contact. So I've pulled up a contact record. I'm going to click Core Present. And I'm going to get my Make It Big app ready because I'm going to use my Make It Big app with Loom to get Bob's attention and have him watch this video. So there's not a ton of data here as far as there's 0 coming soon, 0 active match. That must be back at Dover.
It's back at Dover, yeah.
Yeah,
I think you can stretch the zoom out, the radius.
Okay.
You see the 1 mile up toward the top?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see if you can go to 3 or 5 or something.
3 mile. There we go. Now I've got some data. Yeah. Now I've got some data. 8 sold, 1 pending, 1 active match. Now there's a whole bunch of things that you can do to build out and customize the CMA. I'm not going to do that. Okay, that's a topic for another day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click this button to skip to the presentation.
It's also at 6 months. You could stretch it out, as Ernest is saying, if you wanted to make the duration
Right.
for the comps longer.
Or you can shrink it, right? If it's in a tight neighborhood and the values have been changing, you could go either way on that. So I've got this presentation now, and let me think here. I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna present and share, I think. Okay, so now I've got this link here. I'm gonna open up this link. I've got my flashing. I've got Bob here flashing. So I'm going to record a personal Loom video for Bob. And the reason why I'm using Loom is you can add a video link in your core present, and the options are YouTube or Loom. Okay.
Cool.
So what I'm going to do, this loads up here. It's being slow because we're streaming and screen sharing, etc. And
you got
it's
a Mac.
custom presentation. I got a Mac custom. Yeah. He's never going to let that go. Okay, so I'm going to click Loom. I'm going to record my screen and my camera. I'm going to click start recording.
I have a Mac too, by the way. Oh, I'll let you go. It's a paperweight.
Nice. Uh-oh, maybe it's not going to work. Oh, come on. Here we go. Maybe. Hey, Bob, it's Josh. I know we've been going back and forth, been kind of playing phone tag, and you had messaged that your wife had chosen to move forward with another agent. But I wanted to at least send you some information and some more details to illustrate some of the things that we do unique and differently. So when you check out this presentation, it's got some information on values and so forth. It's custom for your property. But one of the big things I want to highlight is, we've already got an active database of buyers who may be interested in your property. There's some information on pricing, et cetera. You can take a look at buyer demand. But right here, we have 34 buyers in our database who may be interested in your property. That's exactly where we start when marketing a property like yours. And then we do some very unique and different things to drive the most amount of interested buyers and therefore the greatest number of offers, because the more interested parties we have, the more offers we have, the more you win as the seller. So if you'd like to explore any of that, if you'd like to chat about some of those different things that we do for you, I would love to do that, and would appreciate the opportunity to earn the business of you and your wife. Either way, I think there'll be some valuable, interesting stuff in here for you, and hopefully we can chat sometime soon. Now, that was literally completely unscripted. Even though it was supposed to be sharing my camera in the bottom right, it wasn't. So I'm actually going to re-record that. Not now, but I'm going to re-record that before I send it out. But once you do that, I can take this Loom URL. I can pop it in here. And I can, let's see here. Saved, edit presentation.
You can open it now. I think it just dynamically saves. I'm not sure about that.
Email presentation. Yes.
Yeah,
so what I was looking for is I want to email it to him. I'm going to email this to Bob. Or Bob, please watch this short video. Smiley face.
I mean, he already knows who you are, right? So he's going to recognize your name when he gets the email. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Bob, I'd appreciate it if you check out this short video and the presentation put together. Well, for your property at, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to do this after the fact because I want to be on the screen, because here's what I know that happens when people see you, they feel a connection to you, and then it's harder to say no to you.
Yeah.
Right. It's harder to not at least be open to giving me a shot. Right. Giving me a crack at it.
Well, you're also showing an unbelievable level of persistence, especially for somebody who, let's face it, somebody who's a little more mature. They're like maybe in a rural area. The technical stuff you're doing you're demoing like wow, this guy
and demonstrating to them why I can provide better value and
marketing
service
service.
through
Yeah.
just through the thing that I'm sending them, which is the core present. Now, here's what I know, because I know some of you on here. You're gonna want to like get like super like you're gonna want to spend too much time making it perfect.
Yeah.
Done better than perfect. Done better than perfect. They're not gonna go through it with a fine-tooth comb anyway, at least the majority of them. So as long as it's like their property, right? And like the right information on some level, like you can't argue with the sold data, the pending, and the actives.
You don't have to take a shower.
What's that?
You don't have to go home and take a shower before you do the video. That's the thing I hear the most. Like when I'm in offices, they're like, well, I can't do the video yet. I have to go home and get cleaned up.
Be real. Yeah. Be real. So I will re-record that with my camera. I'm going to send that out to Bob, and I'll keep everybody. But not only that, I'm going to email it to him, and I'm going to text him, hey, Bob, just sent you an email. I'd really appreciate it if you would take 90 seconds and check it out. Literally.
Back to Core Present. So what's one of the really cool things about that is it does tell you, I don't know if RPR does this, it does tell you, give you analytics on the views. I don't know if it emails you as it happens, but you can see how many times people are looking at this thing.
You know how dumb I am?
Yeah.
We've not been using
how dumb are you? Yeah.
The interactive web version of the RPR. Like, why are we not just emailing it to them?
I think somebody commented that. Yeah, somebody commented that.
Another way, it's just another touch. We're not doing that. I'm dumb.
Well, you could give them the report right away and then mail it as a follow-up. It's
right. That's what I'm saying.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but like you're sending it through their platform too. It's just like an extra, like, I don't know. I can't believe I'm not doing that. But we will now. And Winifred, yes, it's growing.
The subscribers are rising.
Yes. Great. We have a great arising of subscribers. All right. The one other thing that I had, what was the other thing? So Cloud CMA, I don't have access to it anymore. But it is also similar to corporate. It's interactive. It's like a dynamic report that you can give someone. So that's an alternative to corporate.
We're forgetting Home IQ. We need to do another session about Home IQ because it is really robust and we have access to it. We can actually give it to people. So
right. And that is also interactive. You can send PDFs. And the open rate on it is great. The report that the homeowner gets is very robust and engaging and interesting.
George, Core Present's an add-on that your office would pay for. I would just say because you have the Home IQ, I wouldn't stress. Just use the Home IQ. It's close. It's very similar.
But you'd have to go. I forget, George, your broker's name, Robert. Maybe you'd have to go and ask him. Like it's controlled by. When you're under a brokerage account, it's the broker that would have, if you have an individual KV Core platform, you could probably pay for it. But it's going to be, it's going to be an add-on. But if you're in, like, I know George's situation at his brokerage, like he'd have to go and talk to his broker or just.
I do still have my puts on EXP, but they're a really cool brokerage with this stuff. I mean, the fact that they're giving that to everybody, and I understand some of the costs behind that, it's a really cool benefit of being there. EXP.
Appreciate you. Lawrence King out there in California. Appreciate the kind words. That's all I had. Although I wanted to say one other thing. If you have Remind, that's also a very simple way that you can populate a one-page PDF that will give them, depending on your market and so forth, it'll give them a number of different value points. Like First American thinks it's worth this, Black Knight thinks it's worth this, Zillow thinks it's worth this, Redfin thinks it's worth this. And so it's a simple one pager. And we have used that in the past as well.
Just full disclosure on all this tech stuff, guys, there's a lot of expense in chasing squirrels. So
correct.
If you have something, just use it. We all have RPR. And
here's I think way too often we worry too much when anything you do is more than what most agents are doing in your market. Doing any of this,
print out
it
Print out the
differentiates.
10 most recent sales from the MLS. Take a screenshot and send it if you need to.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Lance says, do you ever use the MLS Quick CMA? I don't. I'm sure some of may also, maybe.
I think pretty sure Delia does at our office. I think that's how she does that when somebody asks. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, were you saying you're finishing the email later because you are layering a video? No. So the video that I recorded is the video that I'm talking about. It's just that I must have done something wrong in Loom. It was supposed to have my video.
No, your camera's already being used by your by the streaming service. So
I think I've done it before. I think I don't. Anyway, I want him to see my face and I want him to see his name flashing on the screen. So I'm just going to re-record that and put that in there. For whatever reason, even though I have Core Video, which is the BombBomb add-on, that's not a choice in the Core Present. I don't know, for some they don't talk. So you would have to do either a YouTube, but to me, the easier way to do it, you would use a YouTube if you want to record one video that you include that's general to all that you're sending Core Present. If you're sending a custom video, just use Loom, and it's free to get started with. And if you get to the point where you have to pay for Loom, you're probably going to have more than enough business to justify it. Like if you're using Loom in use cases like this.
All right.
I think that's plenty for today. That's plenty for today. Tomorrow is Free Leads Friday. Stay tuned for that. I'm not sure.
We're going to give everybody who shows up a free lead.
Oh, look at that. Oh boy.
No, we're not.
Maybe.
I don't know how we would do that.
We'll reverse engineer maybe how we can do that.
I need to not talk sometimes.
Free Leads Friday, so we'll dig into some free strategies for creating opportunities for your business right now. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and smash the bell. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please subscribe, rate, and review. The downloads on those platforms are going up, so we appreciate those that are listening in, and we appreciate all of the kind words, the engagement, the feedback, the comments, etc. Keep it coming. We're working on more cool stuff for you. I will be making progress on the mini course around the direct mail double tap concept, which we talked about yesterday and actually was kind of a recurring topic the last few days. So I'm going to make progress on that today. And stay tuned for that. We're just going to give that to everybody, a little mini course. And we're working on some other cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm working on the affiliate program. We're going to kind of make it interesting for you guys to share this stuff. We're going to incentivize. So
one last thing before we go, because I feel like I feel like we've earned this shameless plug, and I need to be more consistent with this. If you have a client, or if you have been turned down for a mortgage, we would love the opportunity to give you a second look or a second opinion. Our team is great at getting creative and putting together transactions where they with folks that may have been told no or never elsewhere. And at a minimum, if we can't help them right now, we will set them up or you up with a credit direction plan of attack at no cost whatsoever.
That's an interesting point, Josh, because a lot of people are still out there charging for credit repair, they call it. When really a lot of that doesn't need to be charged for. And I like that the mortgage team actually does a lot of those services out of the box for free. So send people who need that our way.
Reverse mortgages, DSCR, investor loans, fixer-upper loans, FHA down to 5.
No income, no asset verification, cash out refinances. That's what I'm doing right now. I can't believe it exists. But
I can say confidently, if there is a mortgage program that will work for you or your client, if it exists, we've got it, right? So, like, if there's any possibility, we've got it.
It's the Make It Big app.
Oh, yeah, it's just called Make It Big, George. And
my wife tried to get that app for me, and it didn't work like she thought it would. All right, we got to close down.
I didn't talk over that one, so I didn't miss that one. And George, just so you know, it just looks like that. It literally, the app icon,
it's called Make It
least
Big.
for iPhone, it just says big. It's black with white lettering, big. And I didn't know this for a while. You type whatever you want on it, and then you shake your phone, and that's what makes it flashing. And it doesn't have to be black and white. Like, you can have it flash red and yellow or yellow and black or whatever.
Didn't work, Lance. All right, guys.
We'll be back tomorrow. Free Leads Friday. Appreciate you all. Take care.